Alright, I'm gonna try to do this in one take. This is my 2023 Nissan Frontier P4X Boulder Gray. You guys probably know it as the Fun Tier. I've been meaning to do one of these for a while. Just never really got around to it, and I kind of figured now would be a good time because I think that I'm not gonna say I'm done for a while per se, but like I think I'm kind of done for a while. So the truck in its current standing, I kind of wanted to go over some of the modifications that I've done. Obviously, very much not stock. I'll also kind of give, I guess, like a quality of life review for the now over 50,000 miles that I've owned this truck. I've had it for over 2 years. Has never skipped a beat. This has, bar none, been the most reliable vehicle I have ever known by a large margin. Literally have never had an issue with this thing, and that's including how hard I wheel this thing. It gets used frequently. I mean, more often than not on the weekends, this thing is seeing trails, seeing dirt, climbing boulders, getting banged up on stuff, and it has never let me down. So yeah, I guess I'll start with suspension. So this truck is Titan swapped. I'm running the Fox 2.0s from All Dog Off-Road. I have 650-pound springs in the front. Down here. This truck is filthy. I did just go out to 508 International yesterday with a few friends, and I'm still covered in grass and junk. But yeah, Fox 2.0s with 600-pound springs. I'm running Moog lower control arms. I've got Z1 off-road, tie rod, outer links, and my CVs are from Rock Auto. Excuse me. Yeah, it's off of some Infinity SUV. I don't know. I'll put the part number down below. But yeah, the Fox 2.0 kit has been great. I mean, those of you that knew the truck before it was Titan swapped, I still ran the Fox 2.0s, but I ran just like the extended travel version of them for like the non-Titan swap. They were great. I ran 650-pound springs on those. Never had an issue with them. I just kind of, I don't know, linear progression. Probably should have just done the Titan swap in one shot. Everybody says that. Everybody will tell you that if you don't just Titan swap, you'll regret doing it. And I knew that, but I don't know. Here we are. This thing's been through quite a few suspension revisions in the few years that I've owned it, but you know, we made it. It is Titan swapped. I'm running the All Dogs Off-Road Titan high clearance upper control arms. All of these have greasable bushings, which is really nice. Wheel and tire. People ask me about these all the time. These are Black Rhino Elisios. Brushed faces, polished lips. They do not make them anymore. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to be able to get a fifth full-size spare before they fully disappeared off the internet. So I do have a full matching set, but unfortunately, they do not make these anymore. I have people ask me all the time, and kind of a bummer. I love these wheels. I don't know if I'll really ever get rid of them, honestly. Now that they don't make them anymore, I really like them. So I'm running 35 by 10.5 Kenda Cleaver RTs. These tires have been so good. Probably one of the best tires I've ever run in the wintertime, and that includes my, daily drivers historically have always been Audi sedans, all-wheel drive, and I run snow tires in the wintertime. And even with that, like, these tires are phenomenal. They are so good in the snow. They are so good, off-road, never run out of traction. I really have zero complaints about these. The road noise is, really no worse than the hand cooks that it came with. I would actually even maybe argue, I used to run 255/80 AT3W like Falcon Wild Peaks, and I think that these are quieter than those tires, which are, like a much more road going all-terrain. Yeah, I've never had an issue with them. I love these tires. I would highly recommend them to anybody. Pizza cutter life, you know, gotta love. I know the narrow track width, you know, sometimes I do wish for a meteor stance, but I mean, as it sits right now, I mean, these are D-rated, so they don't really weigh as much as an E-rated tire. They're still 8-ply instead of 10-ply. They have really chunky sidewall blocks, so I have no concerns about sidewall punctures. I mean, not only that, I live in Connecticut, I live in the Northeast, and we just don't really have, like, razor rocks and whatnot. Up here, it's a lot of wet granite, a lot of, you know, tree stumps, a lot of, I don't know. I'm not that worried about sidewall punctures. I'm not out in the desert, you know. These tires have been great. A lot of people have asked me, you know, how I fit the 35s. You just got to cut a lot, man. I mounted these tires before I was even Titan swapped, and in order to do that, you actually have to. You don't have a choice. This little panel back here, I need to actually respray that. We patched it. This is just some sort of like core support or crash structure support. We thought it was a cab mount. It's not. Nissan added that just for, I don't know. I think it has something to do with crash structure. But point being, it's just like 16th inch thick steel, like an extension of the frame. We actually had to cut that back and plate that. I know a buddy of mine actually had a shop cut his off completely and just flush it to the frame. It doesn't actually serve any like structural purpose in terms of the frame, but like if you don't trim that, especially if you're not Titan swapped, you will make contact. So now that that's trimmed, if we ever get gearing support, I should be good to run 37s actually, but if you want to run 35s and you don't want to Titan swap, you have to chop that and you have to push it back. You just do not have a choice. It will make contact, hard contact. Can't really avoid it. Sucks to suck. But, you know, hey, we need a, you know, pay to play, I guess. I'm running Perry Parts bump stops. I also, I have the All Dogs Off-Road U-Bolt flip kit. Oh, I'm sorry, actually, that's a Z1 Off-Road. That's a Z1 Off-Road U-Bolt flip kit. I do run All Dogs U-Bolts, though. I don't run the Z1 U-Bolts. I had a couple of those break on me. Nothing bad against Z1. I torqued them to the wrong spec. I over-torqued them to 90 foot-pounds, which I thought was the standard for a 9/16 bolt. Z1 actually recommended, I think it was around 50 foot-pounds. Point being, it was my fault, but I was able to get replacement bolts pretty quickly, and they just happened to be from All Dogs. But yeah, flip kit has been fine. One thing about my truck that is unique compared to a lot of other people that run 35s, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on camera, but underneath, you can't really see it. This truck is filthy. I do apologize. Basically, underneath the flip kit, I run what is called a zero-rate add-a-leaf. And what that is essentially it relocates your axle. So it actually takes the axle and it pushes it back about an inch. So there's an inch setting, and then I think there is a half-inch setting. Point being, it also acts as a 1-inch lift block, which I don't really care for. I don't like lift blocks. I don't know. I just not a fan. Suspension, or just don't do it at all. But but yeah, the reason for that is because if you look, my poor bedside, under full articulation, you will stuff the tire into your bedside. When you are fully stuffed at bump, you will stuff increase your bedside. It happened to me on both sides. Fortunately, the other side, it really didn't crease like that. But by running the zero-rate add-a-leaf, it pushes it back just enough. You can actually kind of see the way that it's lined up right there now. Just enough for clearance. It works. I do still have some minor fender flare contact, as people have noticed in videos that I've posted on my Instagram, but it'll eventually self-clearance. Not really that worried about it. Will I eventually trim if I ever go up to 37s? Yes, absolutely. I just not super concerned about it right now. But yeah, so in the rear, I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I'm trying to kind of stay on track. God, this truck is dirty. In pairing with the front end Titan swap, I am running, I used to run the RC Killa kit that All Dogs released. They don't sell it anymore. I think it's now the Spacer Eraser, but it was an Adelleaf, and then it was like a taller coil spring in the front. So I still run that same Adelleaf. So stock leafs with an Adelleaf, and then I run All Dogs 1.5-inch adjustable rear shackle. And then obviously the rear struts are the Fox 2.0s from their kit. I don't run any sway bars. I was running the rear sway bar for a while. I actually really liked running the rear sway bar, but kind of ripped it off. Whoops. So no sway bars, lots of travel. This thing is very boaty, but I mean, what can you expect from a soft valved, soft sprung, Titan swapped truck? I mean, I don't actually really know how much lift this thing has. People ask me all the time. I never measured from stock, so I don't know. I'd have to compare and contrast from a stock Pro 4X. But yeah, oh, I also run a, what is it, McKillis, whatever, 1-inch body lift. You can buy this on All Dogs Off-Road. So the only reason that I'm running this body lift, and again, I am not an advocate for body lifts. I don't like them. I don't like lift blocks. However, my alternative, as you can see, the trim that we had to do, when you run 35s, you would have to do that trim all the way around the fender. And which is whatever, like, I don't inherently mind, but the issue is that you fully lose your fender liners. And I live in the Northeast. There's a lot of salt. I mean, as you guys can already probably tell, rust is rough out here, man. I do keep this truck. I mean, it's dirty right now, but I hose this thing off. I try to keep the undercarriage pretty much as clean as possible, especially in the wintertime. I really just did not want to lose my fender liners. So the cheaper alternative also, because I mean, not only do you lose your fender liner, but you also have to relocate your washer fluid reservoir, which my boy Four-Wheel Drive Adventures actually just created a reservoir relocation kit, so shout out to him. But yeah, if you don't want to deal with all that, you just run a 1-inch body lift, and then at full compression, it's just enough that your tires do not rub. I have literally jumped the truck, and they don't rub. It's completely fine. Bump to bump will not rub. So if you do a 1-inch body lift, it's the perfect amount. I do know it might be easier to run the 2-inch in terms of compatibility with armor. I know Z1 sells the 2-inch body lift, and then they sell like bumpers and stuff to pair with it. So obviously, you know, my sliders, Hefty Fab sliders, by the way, shout out Steven Villibert. I pretty much stole all the parts off his truck when he parted it off in terms of like my bumper and my sliders. The gap's not that bad. It's really, almost dropped my phone. It's really not even noticeable, honestly. Like, people don't know that this truck has a body lift until I point it out to them. Another big concern that people have is bumper clearance. CA tuned off-road front bumper, by the way. I love this bumper. This thing is solid. This thing has taken a beating. You can literally see a nice little dent right there. Solid bumper. But yeah, in terms of body clearance, like, this bumper actually fits better now with the 1-inch body lift than it did without it. The shop that installed this, I'm not gonna name them, but you're supposed to trim and like a little bit around the insert, which, to be fair, I kind of feel like does make the point of an insert bumper a little redundant. However, neither here nor there. They didn't. It was making contact with the plastics before the body lift, and you can actually see where it was rubbing. And now that I have the body lift, I actually have the ideal amount of clearance, because when you put armor on a vehicle, especially bumpers, body on frame, you know, the body moves independently from the frame when you're flexing and doing stuff. So you don't want the clearance to be super tight. You want to have some space, and that gave it pretty much the proper amount of space. So body lift, Prinzer roof rack, soft hopper. Love the soft hopper. Soft hopper was the first thing I did to this truck, but it was bone stock. Shout out to them, honestly, man. What an awesome company. We've got a tree branch on my roof. Harbor Freight Pelican case. Thing's great. Keep all my recovery gear in there. I have a spare CV axle in there. Oh, this is a pretty cool piece of kit. My buddy Alex from Snailworks US, big Subaru guy, makes these high lift jack mounts for the high lift jack for the Prinzu roof rack. So shout out to Snailworks. These are technically made for a Subaru, but he was able to, so apparently we use thicker gauge steel for like truck roof racks over the Subarus, so he just, you know, got longer hardware and we mounted them right up. And yeah, no, these things have been great. This thing is freaking solid, doesn't vibrate, doesn't rattle, doesn't move. Literally awesome products. You can actually kind of see a little bit better in there. He uses super high grade material. Yeah, shout out Alex, man. But yeah, diodynamic fog lights, Fox beam mounting brackets. They don't make these anymore. They kind of sucked. They were super brittle. They broke super easily. They kind of flop around in there. I don't know. Point being, they don't make them anymore. People always ask me. You can actually see I had to super glue this side because it broke in half. Don't make them anymore. Sorry, guys. Z1 Off-Road did just release their own fog light bracket, though, for, I forgot which pods, but it's, yeah. So you do have an option now, even though they don't make these. Diodynamic A-pillar lights, Z1 Off-Road snorkel, because why not? With the plug. Plug is super useful. But yeah, oh yeah, my cheap freaking Nove sight awning. Temu, dude. Freaking like $140. I ain't spending $400 or $500 on a awning, man. That crap's ridiculous. But anyways, that's pretty much the gist of the setup. And then obviously, last but not least, let me hit my little lock button real quick. Hit the startup sequence. Everybody loves the lights. Look at them go, dude. What? And then they flash back. Gotta love frame rate. And turn it back off. Anyways, Anzo USA headlights. I was one of the lucky few prototype testers, and now they are fully released. I don't know, man. Things are pretty sweet. Blacked out housings, projectors instead of reflectors. You can switch between white and amber. There's a switch on the back of the headlight that you just flip. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the long short of it. Again, I've had this truck. I bought it certified pre-owned back in, what, February of 2024. The truck is a 2023, so it was less than a year old. It was a lease buyout. Had 4,500 miles on it. I bought it for $34,000 out the door. This truck has been so good to me. I've been way worse to this truck than this truck has been to me. Honestly, I abuse this thing, this poor truck. You know, oh, you know, second owner, never taken off-road, yada, yada. Yeah, not really. I love this thing. Don't really know if I'll ever get rid of it, to be honest. You know, I want to see the platform growing. I want it to get better. I want our aftermarket to grow. And, you know, I'm very happy, very fortunate that I have been, I guess, so involved in the process, you know what I mean? Like, we got to keep building these things out, guys. Keep reaching out to these companies, you know, keep showing interest, keep gaining interest, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but this truck's been great. If you're looking for a Frontier, or I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a mid-size pickup truck, like, man, you cannot beat these things. Like, just look at this truck, man. It's just, Nissan absolutely knocked it out of the park with the design of these things. They did such a good job. This design will age well. Some designs don't age well. The second gen didn't age well. I mean, look at this thing. This is such a good looking truck. Everything is personal preference. I love third gen Tacomas. I would cross shop the third gen Tacoma with one of these. I was also looking at Gladiators. Don't make fun of me. But I mean, dude, a year-old truck with 4,500 miles on it, Pro 4X, Dana 44, rear locker, adaptive cruise control. I don't know, dude. Like, what else? Apple CarPlay. What else can you want in a new vehicle? Objectively, very nice interior. My interior is kind of a mess right now. I'll open up my door anyways and embarrass myself, but... Oh, it's locked. I just got Chipotle. But I mean, dude, objectively very nice interior compared to especially third gen Tacomas, fifth gen 4Runners. I don't know, man. I think these trucks are a bargain for what you're getting. Obviously, you know, they've gone up a fair amount in price, but even in the used market, the certified pre-owned market, like, yes, obviously, you know, that's a big selling point for Toyotas, is that they have such a high resale value. And honestly, I will say, like, I think that these things are going to end up having a very strong resale value. I mean, it is the last naturally aspirated Japanese mid-size pickup truck. You know, I know people that have jumped ship from Toyota, you know, to Nissan because of that. And not just Toyota to Nissan. I mean, people that had Canyons, freaking Colorados, I don't know, even Jeeps, Gladiators, Wranglers. You know, I know a ton of people that have jumped ship and hopped on the Nissan train. This is an incredibly reliable, stout, just good all-around vehicle. 3.8 liter VQ, made it to a 9-speed automatic. It's the same transmission that's in like Sprinter vans and whatnot. They're just very stout. Great gearing. This thing turns 35s, no problem whatsoever. All my friends that have Tacomas, like, you basically need to tune and need to re-gear those, and you don't have to do it with this. We're still waiting on gearing support, don't get me wrong. I want gearing. Another cool thing about these is that obviously, you know, you can Titan swap it, you can fully Titan swap it. So I could put an M205 front diff in this truck, and I intend to. I'm just waiting until I can re-gear the rear end, because for those of you that don't know, it is a Dana 44, but Nissan made a proprietary pinion bearing, and because it's a proprietary part, they don't sell it. Nobody's manufactured one yet, so you can't currently re-gear these without completely swapping out the rear axle. So, you know, we're waiting, we're bugging people, we're reaching out. You know, me and a couple of the other more, I guess, hardcore guys are really trying to pester these companies to, you know, do the R&D and kind of show them that these trucks are worth it. The aftermarket's worth it. It's not a waste of money, because, man, do I love this truck. So yeah, that's it. That's the Frontier. Again, guys, like, this thing has been awesome. I just love this truck so much. But yeah, I've never really done one of these before. I hate hearing myself talk. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I plan on making many other YouTube videos, but if you learn something in this, if this piqued your interest, you know, let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Obviously, you know, those of you that do know this truck, I really only post on Instagram. I don't know. We're around, man. Support these Frontiers, guys. I know Nissan as a whole has kind of let people down in recent years, and, you know, they deserve a lot of the backlash they're getting, but boy, did they do it right with these trucks. So if you're considering buying one, if you want to modify one, All Dogs, you know, Z1, both phenomenal countries, goodness, phenomenal companies. They're, you know, really just kind of leading the way in terms of aftermarket for these trucks. And make sure that you guys support them, man. You know, support your local group, support your Facebook group, spread the word, just give these trucks some love, man. Anyways, I guess that's it for this video. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments.